Hi, welcome to my Autodesk University class. Moving on up to BIM 360, what you need to know to migrate an existing Civil 3D project to the cloud. CES 469216. I'm your speaker, Louisa Holland. Most people call me Lou. I'm a technical specialist here at Autodesk, and I primarily focus on the infrastructure side of the world, so Civil 3D, InfraWorks, that sort of thing. In this presentation, at the very end, if you hang on, I will be talking about a new tool that is currently in beta. And so because of that, we need to show you the Safe Harbor Agreement. Basically, that says that if it's not officially out by Autodesk yet, the Autodesk can change its mind. So don't buy anything based on stuff that isn't released yet. But let's get on with it. That's me. I am a civil engineer and I am originally from Wisconsin. I've been at Autodesk going on 7 years now, and I really love what I do. I love sharing Civil 3D with other people and getting people good at it. So today we're going to be talking about migrating an existing project to BIM 360, and that involves a few steps. We can't just take a folder, drag and drop it, and call it good. We have to take a look at those projects one at a time and make sure they're ready to go. So first we'll take a look at file maintenance, DWG maintenance specifically. We want to make sure we're uploading files that don't have any bad elements in them. We don't want to upload corrupt files. Then, one of the most important things with regard to BIM 360 is making sure all of our external references, and I mean anything that is external to a DWG, so that could be another DWG, that could be a data reference if you're a Civil 3D user. So anything that a file needs, we want to make sure that's resolved reference-wise before we upload it. We'll talk about what files are supported out in BIM 360, and hopefully we'll have time to talk about some of the files that maybe need a little extra manual syncing. We'll also show migrating a project directory manually. So what does that actually look like when it comes time to drag and drop those files? And then, as I hinted at before, we're going to see a preview of what's to come with regard to migrating Civil 3D projects to BIM 360. So let's get going. So part of what inspired this AU presentation is the number of headaches that people I've talked to are running into uploading projects that have been around for a while. So if you've got a Civil 3D project, you've got many DWG files, you probably have PDFs, you probably have even DGN files from Bentley products. So you could have a whole mishmash of elements that go into the design. So what of those objects can get uploaded? What do we want to leave down? And that's really what we're going to be talking about today. So if it's existing project, there's lots of links in there. So we want to make sure we upload that and maintain those links. So what do people run into when we do upload projects? One of the reasons a file may not upload is if it is corrupt or bad. There's just bad elements in it. I'll show you how to clean those up. We want to avoid any kind of duplicate data being uploaded that's going to cause extra space being chewed up in users' local cache, and it's just confusing. So we'll talk about how to avoid that. We do run into long path issues that we inherit that from Windows. So if you have a file that when it's up in, when it goes through Desktop Connector, if it's going to go over that Windows limit of 200 and some 50 some characters, it just will not upload. Missing references are a common issue with data. So if you upload a file and you're expecting it to have an XREF, but when you open it from the cloud, that XREF is gone, we'll show you how to make sure that is not going to happen to you. We'll check for missing references and bad references in all of our files. And then probably the number one reason a file just won't upload is if it's an unsupported file type. So that desktop connector utility that helps us upload files specifically blocks certain file types for security reasons, and we'll talk about what those are. Okay, so the first section of this is file maintenance. And what I mean by that is checking all the drawings that you're about to upload. You want to check them for errors. Let's do an audit, a purge. Let's purge regapps. And hopefully these are things that you're doing already to drawings, but it's especially important when you're going to be collaborating with people, because garbage in, garbage out. So let's jump right to the batch save utility, and we're going to let it take care of our audit and purging, all the different types of purging too. First, let's go ahead and launch the Civil 3D batch save utility, which automatically gets installed with Civil 3D. The easiest way to find it is just click your start button and start typing batch. And we're looking for the batch save utility, not the standards checker. Let's go ahead and launch that. And at the very top of this, we'll see the target version of Civil 3D. Now I'm using Civil 3D 2021, and of course BIM 360 is only compatible with your 2020 and 2021. So this is correct in my case. So pick your target version. And for the script, I'm going to use this default clean.script. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. Let's see what's in it. So what we see here is that this AutoCAD script, the SCR, is actually calling a Lisp routine. And we're going to go ahead and let's open that up. What is in there? You don't need to know how to do Lisp to do this. I just wanted to show you what this is doing behind the scenes. These are all things that you could go to each drawing and type in. You'll recognize the purge command, R for regapps, asterisk for just hitting enter to continue, and then no to verify. So what this is doing is it's purging twice. It's purging regapps, it's purging all, including empty objects, zero length text objects, that kind of thing. It gives it a save, it audits, saves again. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to close this, and we'll use the batch save tool. We're just going to run that default clean on the folders that I'm planning on moving to BIM 360. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add, and I'll browse to where I've got my example data. I'll select that folder. And if there's a subfolder or files that I'd like to exclude, I could go ahead and add that here. I'm just going to cancel that. I do want it to scan all the DWG and DWT files. Towards the bottom here, I want it to, we've got some options as far as how we want it to deal with drawings that are perhaps read-only. I actually do want it to scan all drawings regardless of the drawing state. At this point, I have Civil 3D closed, and so does everybody else, so nobody should have these files open, so they are not read-only. If they've been previously batch saved, there's a little file that'll get created that tracks which files have been saved. And if it wasn't a Civil 3D drawing originally, so if it doesn't have any Civil 3D objects, we can skip that too. But I actually do want it to scan all DWGs, whether or not they were created in Civil 3D or not. And if they're not compatible with 2021, I want to skip it as well. So we'll just, we'll leave it as that. We'll let it delete BAK files. Actually, I'm going to take that off for now because later in this presentation, I'll show you just part of the things we need to consider when uploading to BIM 360s. We want to make sure we don't upload BAK files. That's just unnecessary junk. So we could get rid of them at this point. But for illustration's sake, I'm going to go ahead and click Start. Oh, and it's going to yell at me because I have Civil 3D open. Let's go ahead and close that. Don't have any projects open. Okay, now let's see if it'll let me go. Oh. There she goes. So we're seeing that there's 10 drawings in there, and we're seeing the progress bar show what's going on there. What's happening in the background here is AutoCAD's actually launching what we call a headless version of AutoCAD, or the AEC Core Console. If I was going to open the Task Manager, I would see that Core Console running. Okay, so it looks like 13 drawings saved, 6 drawings skipped. Let's take a look at the log, and it'll tell us what happened and why. So incompatible versions, it looks like we have. Okay, and those are those template files. And it looks like the rest were a success. So let's go ahead and we could run this again. We could tweak the files. We could even run this again and go ahead and clean those other version files. And it's skipping the ones that we already did because I still had previously batch saved clicked. So anyway, let's take a look at the log. Now it fixed the 6 remaining, and it skipped those other 13s because they had already been scanned. Okay, so that is a very, very quick overview of the batch save utility that comes with Civil 3D. It's a very handy tool to quickly go through a large number of files and remove things like registered applications and zero length objects, empty text objects, that type of thing, without having to manually go through each drawing. So that's why we use the batch save utility. Now I've switched back over to Civil 3D, and there's some cleanup that we'll do from within the product that, in my opinion, is best done on an individual basis. And again, this is to make the drawings lighter, more nimble, smaller, and also clean up the junk. And we're going to use the map clean command. And this could be scripted out, but I actually think map clean is a little bit too heavy-handed to script in a large number of files. So I actually think it's best to go through and very deliberately remove additional objects if you need to. So what the map clean command does is I'm going to select objects, and most importantly, I'm going to check for duplicates. So if you've got a file and if you've got Civil 3D, you've got this command. In plain old AutoCAD, the command is called overkill. It's very similar. But I'm going to pick all layers, all objects, click next. And the cleanup actions are really where the big stuff happens. So I delete duplicates, that's a biggie. Erase short objects, that is up to you, just depending on how short objects you want to erase. This is meant to clean up map objects where there might be a lot of kind of artifacts from a GIS import. So we could make this like a really small number and then make sure we're not erasing anything too large. Let's see, some other things that we may want to get rid of. Let's zero length objects. Let's definitely get rid of those. Now, in theory, the purge command should have done that too, but let's add map just in case. And I think that does it. Those are the big ones. The rest of these I think are a little too heavy-handed for our purposes, but let's go ahead and hit next. I'm going to just modify the original objects if things need to be modified. I don't think anything will be modified. I think mostly we'll just delete things. Let's go ahead and click finish, and we'll check the command line to see what this tool does for us. So F2 to bring up that command line, and what do you know? Looks like it did modify a few objects, and it deleted 2233. So now that we've done that, we'll give it a save, and I feel much better about uploading this particular file to BIM 360 without all that garbage. Now we're coming to really the heart of this presentation, what makes migrating existing projects to BIM 360 hard are external references. We want to get our project in a state where everything it needs is all in one place. So we're not looking at different drives, we're not looking outside of the folder. We're going to look only within that project for references. And so this is going to involve we're going to look through all of our files, and the big thing we want to make sure we're doing is setting all reference paths to relative. That's all DWG paths, any Excel paths, those can be relative. We want to make sure those are relative. That is huge. We're going to go through and I'll show you how to use the reference manager to check for reference problems. Although it's so difficult to get AutoCAD to make a circular reference, I don't actually have an example to show you, but I'll show you how to check where to look. And I'll also, to avoid the possibility of circular references, basically we'll just lay it right out there, use overlay all the time, don't use attach. And as I mentioned before, we'll show you the reference manager where we can kind of have a one-stop shop to change all these things. Okay, here I am back in Civil 3D, and as you can see right away, just from looking at it, I can tell there's some reference issues. Well, let's go to the external reference panel and get a closer look at what's going on. I've got mine just docked off to the left here. If I go into this panel, I see the list of different external references involved here. And what I want to do is, I'm in list view now. I actually want to go to tree view to see what's reference of reference. There's certain things I'm going to be able to fix in this drawing and some things I'm going to need to jump to other drawings to fix. And so going into tree view is going to help me figure that out. So it looks like this missing file, this missing PNG file, looks like that's actually part of the corridor. So I'm going to need to go there to fix that. But the corridor file itself is just fine. If I click it, I see that it is an overlay. Good. It is found currently. Good. So it's currently resolved. And its saved path is that dot corridor. So that dot is telling me that's how what the path looks like when the type is overlay, and that's exactly what we want. So I can tell I'm going to need to open up corridor drawing to untangle that missing PNG. Let's take a look at this other attachment. Looks like we have a direct attachment of the this PDF, and there's no problem there either, except I am noticing that saved path is a full path. So let's see if we can change that path type to relative. So I right-clicked on that PDF, change path type, make relative. And what that will do is we'll see we've got those dots now on the saved path, and that's what we want. Because this is ultimately going to get cached on everyone's local drive, you know, my drive is going to be a little bit different than my colleague's drive, so this all needs to be relative. Okay, so actually everything looks good in the drawing that we're in. We'll save alignments and open up corridors next. I can do that right from here. Just right-click open. And we can jump back to that reference panel, and sure enough, here we've got some things we need to resolve as well. So with this PNG file, if I don't have access to it, I can just do a right-click remove, and that's what I'm going to do here. Detach. And it also looks like I have some issues with this existing site file. Actually, if I click it, I see something a little fishy here. It's actually in a completely different drive than the rest of my project, and that's going to cause, if I leave it like this is going to cause all kinds of problems. And I'm just going to take a moment to explain what might happen if we leave this as is. I've jumped over to a Windows Explorer window where I'm looking at my BIM 360 folder at an example I did called Bad Migration. So over on the left side here, I see all the different company hubs I'm invited to. TS Construction is my example hub that my AU projects are part of. And Bad Migration is the project I'm looking at currently, and we're looking at it through the local cache on my hard drive. And where I'm focused here is the civil folder. Now, there's all kinds of stuff in here, and I'll talk a little later on about getting rid of recover and backup files. But as you can see, for every drawing that's here, there's also a folder. So we've got a folder called corridor, a folder called roads, etc. So if I go into that corridor folder, I see a related data folder. I see that there are references to things that I did not resolve. So it's recreating this folder path. Ugh, what a mess. So we don't want that to happen. What's going to happen if we do that is we're going to end up with duplicate data. So these actually have been uploaded multiple times every time it was uploaded. So again, this is a bad migration. If you see a related data folder get created when you upload to BIM 360, that is a sign that you did not resolve those XREFs before uploading them to BIM 360. So that is one of the major reasons we want to make sure we clean up these XREF problems. A tool that's already on our machines as part of AutoCAD is the Reference Manager. And I'm just going to my Windows Start button. I just start typing in REF and it brings up Reference Manager. This is just a base AutoCAD tool, and this will allow me to quickly look through those drawings for any problems. So I'll click Add, and I'm going to browse to the local location, and this is just another tool that we can use to examine the files. It'll give us an indication if there's problems. Now in this case, add all XREFs automatically regardless of nesting level is the option I'm going to take, and this will allow me to check for things that are attached versus overlay. So if we see that extra nesting level, we'll actually want to go and fix that too. So let's see what we're looking at. What we have on the left-hand side are a list of all the drawings we pulled up and any dependencies it found. Remember that last dialog box that pulled up those dependencies? And if there are any issues in the drawings, we'll find those if we click the plus sign. And here's where we see there actually is a circular reference. And this is what that looks like. But I kind of had to force the issue because AutoCAD does such a great job of preventing this. So, but this is just an example to force that circular reference. So I'm not going to worry about that, but that is something we would want to correct. Now we also have some red dots that are indicating some possibly missing XREFs or missing files. So it doesn't look like it's an XREF issue. If we click the top level here, we'll see that the problem actually is with that missing PNG that it's warning us about. So any problems will show up here. The only thing that we can really fix here are things like the paths. We can do find and replace for the various paths, but I couldn't say fix or detach the that circular reference from here. So that's something you would need to go into the file itself to do. Now, I'm not going to dwell on this tool too much because later on I'm going to show you a much quicker way to find all these things. Now let's talk about the supported file types for BIM 360. And that's pretty simple. The most common reason, if you've got a file and it just seems like Desktop Connector is ignoring it, well, it might just be that. There are a few file types that Autodesk Desktop Connector purposely ignores for security reasons. And most of those are things, just for example, this is definitely not a complete list, but things like batch files, Lisp routines, executables, that kind of thing. So if it can possibly run and do damage on someone's machine, we just won't upload it. But of course, if you say need to pass someone a Lisp routine or a batch file, whatever, you can just go ahead and zip that up, and then you can use that BIM 360 as a file transfer tool. But yeah, there's a number of files that Desktop Connector simply ignores. Next, let's talk about getting rid of unnecessary files within the folders themselves. Even though there are no space limitations in BIM 360, you might want to think about just, especially in that first upload, you don't want to upload things you don't need, especially backup files and lock files, those type of things. These won't cause any problems or linking issues with your BIM 360. That's not the issue. It's really just a matter of why upload something you don't need. So let's take a look at that. The next thing I want to do with the local version of this project is search for any files that I don't need to upload at all. If I go to my civil folder, for example, I have things like BAK files, a recover file, and those we just don't need. It's going to be extra upload time and a few extra meg of data that we just don't want. So one method is to just delete it from here. I'm just using my delete key on my keyboard. Or at the project level, let's go ahead and search all the folders at once. So I'm at project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's search for BAKs. So let's swoop all those up and send those to the recycle bin. We do not need to worry about sending those to BIM 360. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back up a level. Oh, let's go back rather. And let's do the same thing and search for any recover files. And sure enough, there's that recover file we saw earlier. I'm just going to do a right click, delete on that guy. Okay, so now we've cleaned out files that we don't need, and we're ready to move these folders over to BIM 360. Now that we've gone through and cleaned up unnecessary files, let's change gears and go over to the web. Now we're going to put on our project admin hat and create the project where we're going to store these files. So here I am in the BIM 360 website, and I'm logged in as account admin. It's an account admin so that can make new projects. I'm going to go ahead and click add, and this project will be AU 2020 upload example. And the project type, well, it doesn't matter for our purposes, but I'm just going to pick road. So that's my happy place. And let's go ahead and save and continue. The project profile is saved, and it automatically pops me over to project admin, where I am going to activate the service. And in this example, the important thing is I'm going to use a template project to set up folders and permissions. So I'm using Civil Template Permissions by Role as my template, and we're going to activate that. And the project services are part of those project templates. So now we see document management and design collaboration activating. Now that those are active, let's take a look at the document management side of things. Oop, it's not in there yet. I can press F5 to force it to refresh. See that active stuff that I'm supposed to see. There she is, document management. And what this has done is created a placeholder project with the appropriate folders. And when I drag and drop folders from my desktop, I want them to merge into this project. Now there's a few things we'll do on the desktop side, like rename the project and rename this folder. We could do that here, but just for illustration purposes, I'll be doing that from the desktop. Now we're almost ready to migrate this project. The first thing we're going to do is rename the new project that we created out on BIM 360. We'll go directly to the BIM 360 folder on our hard drive, and I'll rename it to match my project. Then in both folders, I'm going to go one more folder deep. So I'm looking at that next level down. So I'll go to the local version of the project I'm migrating, and lo and behold, I've got some different names on folders, and we want those to match so that when these mesh, the folders will inherit the correct permissions. So I'm going to favor the word templates because it's a shorter word, and we are always concerned about the file path length. So let's rename this from project standards to templates. And I am doing this from the BIM 360 folder on my local hard drive, but Desktop Connector will ensure that everyone's version of that folder gets renamed as well. Okay, we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and select all of our folders, and we'll drag and drop that right into the BIM 360 project folder. Immediately, Desktop Connector jumps into gear and we'll see multiple files uploading themselves to BIM 360. If you right-click on the white Desktop Connector icon, you can go into Pending Actions and see what's going on. Now, if we look inside Desktop Connector pending actions, we should see a flurry of activity as it uploads the files to our project folder. So before I get off of this subject, let's talk about what you may have noticed, and that I am using templates on BIM 360. Let's explore what it is I'm uploading template-wise. Out on BIM 360, I'm going to keep my Civil 3D template. I'm going to keep my plan production templates. Any reference templates that I have for Civil 3D. I'm also going to have things like sheet set templates or any title blocks that I need. And by having these out on BIM 360, we can set the permissions that people have access to them to use them, and we can prevent them from modifying them as well. But having them out on BIM 360 also ensures that everyone's using the same standards, and that if any standards change, those get copied to everybody on the project. So just a quick, maybe best practice and a thing I hope I see more people do as BIM 360 gets adopted. Last but not least, I'm going to open up the project as project admin and make sure all my references are correct and fix anything that just can't be fixed ahead of time. Over in Civil 3D, I'm on the Start tab and I've gone to the BIM 360 area. This is a direct look into BIM 360 and what's going on with your project in the web. I kind of think of this as a little web browser within Civil 3D. If you're not seeing what exactly you think you should see, hit the refresh and it'll take another look at what's going on the web. So let's go ahead and open up one of our drawing files and make sure all the references are correct. Let's take a quick look at the external references in this current drawing and make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. If I click Existing Site and see the data in the details area, you can see that this file is where it's supposed to be on the Good Migration project. Let's take a look at our data shortcuts and make sure those are in order. We want to make sure there's no missing references. That yellow shield icon would show up if we had any problems or missing data, and that doesn't seem to be the case here. And you may want to go through all your drawings and do a similar check to make sure that files were uploaded as expected. Speaking of data shortcuts, let's take a look at the data shortcut uh, folder location. And we need to make sure that this project in its new location can see those data shortcuts that we transferred over to the cloud. We actually moved those with the rest of the project. So I'm going to go ahead and set working folder. And I'm going to browse out to BIM 360 through the shortcut on my desktop to my hub, to my Good Migration project. And actually, that's all I want to be. I want to select this project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if everything has migrated correctly, those XML files that were in the original folders should plug right back in, and no need to repath anything with regards to the data shortcuts. The big thing is, if you've got a project in BIM 360, that data shortcut path needs to point to the same folder. So we're all good. For this last official piece of my session, we'll talk about what happens if relative path is not an option. And that comes up a lot in surface models. I've gone ahead and opened up this Surface from XML example, and I want to show you how to manually repath things once they're uploaded to BIM 360. So what I have in place currently is this drawing file that relies on
a surface definition that is uh, no longer available to this file. It's looking for something on my D drive, but we really need it to be pointing to something out on BIM 360. So I'm going to go ahead and click this folder and redirect it to the correct location. So let's make sure we're going to good migration example. And this particular XML file is in the survey folder, and that's what it's looking for. We'll hit OK. And a couple more steps. We'll hit OK for now. We'll rebuild the surface. We'll also want to rebuild the snapshot because anytime you import XML as a surface, it creates a surface snapshot just by default. Go ahead and close this. And now my surface is still intact. I can continue working. And just to verify, we are looking at the BIM 360 folder.
Now that I've cleaned up the file and the surface model inside the DWG, we may want to go out to document management and clean up any related data folders that are no longer needed. And remember, those get created if the pathing to your references is not correct, or in this case, it was looking for that XML file and pulled in that full relative path. And as you can see, it wouldn't take much for this to turn into a path length greater than 240 some characters. So we want to keep an eye on that. So surface from example is good to go. I fixed it just a little bit ago. And I can delete that folder that it created of the same name. So if you see a folder with the same name as a DWG, odds are that's where the related data folder is, and you'll want to correct that if possible. So that's how we correct that out on BIM 360, and we're ready to work. In this last little section of the class, I want to tell you what's next for migrating projects to Civil 3D.
What I have open on my screen is the Autodesk Data Migration Tool for Civil 3D. What this tool does is automates a lot of what I talked about in the last 40 minutes of this video. So let's take a look at what this beta product is uh, planning on doing for us. And just as a reminder that this is what is covered under that safe harbor statement from the very beginning of the presentation. Again, this is a beta product, so if you want access to it, you'll have to go out to join the beta forums. I'll provide a link to that in my materials. So first I'm going to select the folder that contains my project. And because I want to show you what this data migration tool can do, it's going to expose any problems that this project has. I want to go to the folder level, the top level that I want uploaded to BIM 360. So in this case, it's the project dash number name. I'll click OK. And automatically the list of files is populated down below. Next, I'm going to select the BIM 360 project location where I want this to be stored. And this is a project. At this point, we need it to be created ahead of time so that account admin would create that project and pass it over to someone who can upload these. Here we go. And I want to upload this. Actually, it looks like it picked the right thing because I was rehearsing this, but we want to make sure it's going to upload example. And we are going to select project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So ahead of time, I created this upload example and renamed the folder so that when my local project is uploaded, everything merges correctly. So let's go ahead and select. Now everything matches. Project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's omit some things from the data. One of the nice things that we can do is use wildcards to omit things like BAK files. So I'm just going to type in star.bak, we'll click apply, and if I look through this listing, anything that has a BAK extension is automatically deselected from the data selection list. And I know in this messy folder, there's other things I want to get rid of. For example, anything that has recover in it. I can just manually uncheck it from here, or we can always do star recover.dwg and then hit apply, and that'll do the same thing. So it looks like I've got my local data location correct, the target location correct. I've excluded the proper data, and I'm ready to click next. The data migration tool is scanning all those files. So instead of us going through and looking at those XREFs, it's doing that for us here. And in just a minute, we'll see a list of any problems that we're having. So it looks like we've got 3 situations where we've got missing XREFs or incorrect XREFs. And we also have some issues that, some data issues, so things like derefs. Let's take a look at missing references. I have 3 problems here, and if you click the arrow just to the left of the name, you'll see what is going on. So in this case, alignments.dwg is looking for this PDF file, and it's currently unresolved. So let's fix this by going over to the right-hand side, click the ellipsis, and resolve. Now in this case, it wants us to point to where is it now? Where can I find this locally before we upload it? So go to my messy example. It's going to be in the GIS folder. And I'll click OK. And now you can see the state of that problem. It's fixed now. So let's go ahead and resolve alignments. I click this open. I see that, this existing site is referencing alignments, but actually this is that bad folder. We actually don't want this version of existing site. It's coming out of nowhere here. So let's actually just say do not resolve. We're going to ignore that for now because we're going to not upload that file. And similar to this one, this Snagit PNG file is just missing. So we can go ahead and say do not resolve. Okay, this looks good. Let's go back to our issues list and fix those other 2 that we saw under related data. Oh, actually, it looks like fixing one of the missing references also fixed the related data, so that's good. So let's open this up. Oh, and there again is that bad existing site file. So I'm actually going to tell it to do not upload in this case. And there's a few things we can fix after. So this looks fantastic. I've resolved all of the issues. We've nothing set, all zeros in the unsolved column, and we are ready to hit next. We can go through, take a look at the files. This is our last chance to maybe go back a couple steps and omit some files if we wanted to. Any issues will show up in the status, but that's okay. We're actually decided not to upload that. And if it can't find it, it won't do it anyway. But this all looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Uploading. And depending on the size of the files that I'm uploading, this could take anywhere from 30 minutes to part of a day. So now we're going to be patient and just let it do its thing.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope to see you at Autodesk University in person next year. See you then.